There's a sentence: someone has started writing and deleted more times than they'd ever admit. That's what I have first, before I know who they are or what they did. Just the cursor blinking at the start of a line and a thumb hovering and the line getting erased again. Let me say thank you before I go any further. To the ones who keep coming back and sitting in this chair with me, you steady the whole thing. And if tonight is your first time here, you're welcome. Genuinely. I read the comments long after the video goes quiet, so none of this disappears. Settle in. This is for Virgo. Now, let me sit with the cards because I don't want to name the feeling before I've actually looked at it. I'm seeing a doorway, someone standing just inside it, not quite stepping out the way you stand when you've decided to do something and your body hasn't agreed yet. And there's weather outside, rain maybe, or the gray right before it, the kind of light that makes a person honest with themselves. The first word I'm actually getting is times sorry, but let me be careful with it, because times sorry times is a word people use a lot of ways, and I don't yet know which way this one is. Let me describe what I felt the moment this opened. I felt weight, the specific quality of something that has been carried too long, the way a bag gets heavier the longer you hold it, even though nothing's been added. Whatever this person is carrying, they've been carrying it a while, and it's worn a groove in them. I felt hesitation, not coldness, the hesitation of someone who wants to do a thing and is afraid of doing it badly. And underneath both, faintly, I felt shame, which is different from guilt, and the difference is going to matter. So hold it with me for a second. It's the part of them that's been hardest to move, and it's the part that's finally starting to. The first card arrived in the position of who this person is right now and what state they're in. It shows a figure kneeling or bowed, cups in front of them, the posture of someone looking down at what's been spilled rather than out at what's ahead, water, feeling, and specifically feeling about something lost. What I'm reading plainly is regret that has finished its loud phase and entered its quiet one. There was probably an earlier period where this person was defensive, where they had reasons, where the story they told themselves let them off the hook. That period is over. What's left is the bare version. They know what they did. They've stopped arguing with it. Wait, let me look again, because I want to know what the regret is actually about. And my first assumption might be wrong. I assumed this was regret over leaving, over walking away, and there's some of that. But that's not the center of it. Let me stay here. The center isn't that they left. It's something they said or didn't say, a truth they withheld, or a lie they let stand. The regret has the specific shape of something dishonest, not something abandoned. They're not only sorry they're gone, they're sorry about what they let you believe. That reframes the whole thing. The apology coming isn't times I shouldn't have left. It's closer to times I let you think something that wasn't true, and I've watched you carry it, and I can't keep letting you carry it. I want to stay with the quiet phase of this regret a moment longer, because the cups in this card are spilled, not raised, and that detail is precise. Loud regret is almost easier. Loud regret has somewhere to go. It makes phone calls at midnight. It sends the long message and feels better for having sent it. Quiet regret is heavier because it has nowhere to discharge. It just sits. This person has been in the sitting kind, the kind where you think about someone in the gaps of your day, in the second before sleep, in the middle of doing something unrelated, and you don't do anything about it because you've decided you've lost the right to. That's where they've been living. And living there long enough is its own slow punishment, One, they've been administering to themselves without telling anyone. The second card arrived in the position of what the truth actually is, the thing they're coming back to say. It shows a figure with a single cup held out, water moving, the image of something being offered rather than withheld for once, and next to it I keep getting a sealed thing. A letter, a message, words that have been composed in private over a long time. What I'm reading is that there's an actual piece of information here, not just a feeling. This person has been sitting on something you didn't have, a reason, a context, a fact about why things happened the way they did that would change how you've understood the whole story. And the apology and the truth are the same act for them, because the apology doesn't mean anything without the truth attached. Let me give you the scene, because it came through clear. Someone at a small table, late, with their phone face up this time, not face down, and a message half typed. And they read it back, and it's too long, and they cut it down, and now it's too cold, and they put the phone down and pick up a pen instead, because some things feel wrong to send and write by hand. There's a folded page that's been in a pocket or a drawer for longer than they'd like to say. They take it out sometimes. They've never sent it, but they keep it where they can reach it, which tells you they were never really done. Have you felt that? The sense that there's a piece of the story you were never given, that something about how it ended never fully added up? Let me read this card a little deeper, because the water moving from that cup is telling me about the nature of the truth. It's not a small administrative fact. It's something that, when you hear it, is going to recontextualize moments you've already lived. You're going to look back at certain things they did, certain times they pulled away or went strange or acted in a way you couldn't explain, and the truth is going to make those moments legible. That's the kind of information this is. The kind that doesn't just add a fact, it rearranges the facts you already had. And I think part of why it was withheld so long is that this person knew that. They knew that telling you wouldn't be a small thing, that it would ask you to revise the whole picture, and the size of that kept them quiet. It felt easier to let the simpler, wronger version stand than to hand you the truer, more complicated one. The third card arrived in the position of why now, and I want to slow down here because the timing is the part people usually get wrong. It shows a wheel turning, figures on its rim, the picture of a cycle that's come back around to a place it left. What I'm reading is that something circled back. This isn't a random impulse. Something in their life recently put them face to face with what they did. Maybe a similar situation from the other side. Maybe a quiet that finally got loud enough. Maybe just the accumulation of enough time that the avoidance stopped working. The wheel came around. And when it did, they couldn't keep standing where they'd been standing. Does this feel like it's landing on something real, Virgo? The sense that someone who owes you a fuller version of the truth has been getting closer to giving it to you? If a specific person came to mind the moment I said "time's sorry," tell me in one word in the comments. I read everyone. Let me go back to that distinction from the beginning, shame versus guilt, because now it matters. Guilt says times I did a bad thing. Shame says times I am a bad thing. And the reason this apology took so long is that this person got stuck in shame, which is the version that hides rather than repairs. Shame makes you avoid the person you hurt, because facing them feels like facing proof of what you are. What's shifted, what's making the return possible now, is that they've moved from shame back toward guilt. From times I can't face them, times toward times I did something I need to make right. That's a real movement. And it's the thing that finally lets a person walk to the doorway instead of away from it. Now, inhale with me, Virgo, because The fourth card is about you, and I want it to land before your mind starts organizing it. It shows a figure standing in clear, full light, unhidden, the picture of someone whose worth doesn't depend on anyone else finally seeing it. Not the version of you that's been waiting for an explanation, the version that was always whole, with or without one. What I'm reading, and I want to name it carefully, is that this apology, when it comes, is not the thing that makes you okay. You were okay. The truth they've been withholding doesn't restore something that was broken in you. It corrects something that was wrong in the story, which is different. You don't need their confession to be whole. You may, though, deserve it as a matter of simple fairness. And there's a difference between needing a thing and deserving it. And I think you've been carrying a particular weight that isn't yours. I think part of you built a version of events where you were the reason, where something about you explained why it ended the way it did. The truth that's coming is going to take that weight off, because the missing piece was never about you. It was about something they were dealing with, hiding, afraid of. You filled the gap in the story with yourself, the way careful people do, and the gap was never U-shaped at all. I want to say something specific about how Virgo receives an apology, because your mind does a particular thing. You're going to interrogate it. Is it real? Is it self-serving? Are they apologizing to feel better or to actually make something right? What do they want from me? And those questions are not wrong. Discernment has protected you. But I want to offer you this. You can let an apology be true and still not owe a particular response to it. The two are separate. You're allowed to believe them and take your time. You're allowed to receive the truth and decide later, slowly, what it changes. The instinct to immediately resolve it, to know right now what this means and what you'll do, can rob you of the part where you simply let yourself hear it first. There's a second thing, quieter. You may feel a pull to make the apology easy for them, to say times it's okay, times before it is, to manage their discomfort, to smooth the moment so nobody has to sit in it. Notice that pull and don't obey it automatically. Their discomfort in apologizing is appropriate. You don't have to rescue them from it. Letting it be a little hard for them is not cruelty, it's honesty. And one more thing, because I know how your mind works after. Once you have the truth, you're going to want to audit yourself with it, to go back and find all the places you misread the situation, all the conclusions you drew from incomplete information, and hold yourself accountable for having gotten it wrong. I want to stop you there. You didn't get it wrong. You read accurately from the information you were given, and the information was incomplete because someone chose to keep it incomplete. The gap in your understanding was authored by them, not by a failure in you. Don't take the truth and turn it into a new way to be hard on yourself. That would be the most Virgo thing in the world, and it would be unfair to the person it's aimed at, which is you. The fifth card arrived in the position of where this goes, and I want to read it honestly, not wrap it up. It shows two figures facing each other, cups between them, the picture of an exchange that's genuine but not yet resolved, two people in the actual act of meeting rather than the fantasy of having met. What I'm reading is that this is real and it's incomplete at the same time. The apology is coming, the truth is coming. What happens after the truth is not written yet, and the cards aren't going to lie to you and say it is. This is a real return with a genuine confession. It is not automatically a reunion. Those are different events, and only the first one is confirmed. I want to name something about why the cards leave the after part open, because it's not a dodge. The truth changes the situation, but it doesn't decide it. Once you have the missing piece, you become the one holding the choice, and the cards won't pretend to make that choice for you. What I can tell you is that the apology itself, the act of them finally walking the truth to your door, isn't reversible. They can't untell you. So whatever you decide afterward, you'll be deciding from the full version of the story for the first time instead of the partial one you've been working from. That alone is a different footing than the one you've been standing on. The not knowing ends regardless of what the knowing leads to. Let me give you the last image because it arrived and I want you to have it. It's the doorway, again, from the start, but now the person has actually stepped through it. They're outside in that gray light, moving, finally, after standing still so long. I don't see where they arrive. The cards don't show me the other end of the walk, and I won't invent it. But the standing still is over. The thing that was stuck has come unstuck. After all the deleted sentences, one of them is finally going to get sent. And the version that reaches you will be simpler than all the drafts, because by the time someone walks a truth this far, they've stopped trying to make it sound right and started just trying to make it true. That's where I'll leave them. Mid-walk, carrying the truth toward you at last, no longer hiding from the weight of it. Before I close, I want to say the honest thing rather than the sweet one. Someone is coming back, and what they're bringing isn't only an apology, it's the missing piece, the context you were never given, the truth that was kept from you, the reason the ending never quite made sense, and it comes wrapped in regret because they've finally understood the cost of having withheld it. That regret is real. The relief of finally hearing the full story may be real for you too. But I won't promise you what you do with it, and I won't promise you what it becomes, because those parts are yours and the cards leave them open on purpose. What's confirmed is this: you weren't crazy for sensing something was missing. Something was, and the person who held it is done holding it. I want to leave you with one more honest note, because it's the part that tends to get lost under the drama of an apology. The fact that someone is coming back with the truth says something true about you that has nothing to do with whether you take them back. It says you were worth the discomfort of a confession. People don't walk a hard truth to the door of someone who didn't matter. They let those stories stay buried because there's no pull strong enough to make the digging worth it. The pull, in your case, was strong enough. That's information about your weight in this person's life, and it stays true no matter what you decide once they've finished speaking. Someone is sorry, not the easy kind, the kind that comes with the truth attached. And the truth is going to set down a weight you were never supposed to carry. If this names something you felt, if you recognize that deleted sentence, or the sense of a story that never fully closed, I'd genuinely like to know, not all of it unless you want to tell it, just enough that I know it found the right person. I read every single comment, and I hold what is shared in this space with genuine care long after this video ends. Until next time, Virgo, there's a sentence someone kept deleting. They're finally going to finish it. It carries a truth and a sorry and the weight of having waited too long. Let it reach you before you decide what it means. You can set the rest down for tonight. It'll keep, and so will you.